Hello and welcome back to another How To with the Media Team. Today we are going to be covering how to add a single blog to your Wix website. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and log right in. The first thing you're going to want to do is go to your Wix homepage, which is just wix.com, or you can just type in Wix and it will pop up in your Google bar. And you should end up on a landing screen like this. You're going to need to get signed in. So we'll just click this button in the top right hand corner here that says sign in. And it will take you to a login page where you will put in your login credentials. You'll see that mine just autofill in, so depending on what your login credentials are, you can have them saved or you can type them in each time. It's up to you. Once you've got your credentials in, you just hit the login button and it's going to take you right into Wix. Now, when you're talking about adding a blog, it's pretty simple. Most of you aren't going to have as many different windows to view on your screen, but if you do, just go to the one that you are going to be working in. Today I'm going to be working in a dummy account, so I'm going to select this site here. Once you're into this site, the beauty of a blog is that you don't have to go into the edit website function and deal with all of that. You can just go straight to a blog format. So over here on the left-hand side of the screen, you have a navigation bar that has a lot of different options available to you. You'll notice that right over here, you've got one for the blog. So if you just click on that, it's going to take you straight to the blog screen, and then you don't have to mess with the overall format of the website. You can just work on your blog and only have to work with that. You'll notice here that I have an archive of different blogs that have been posted over the course of the year. We're going to create a new blog by going up here and hitting create new post. You can also look in your draft function and see if you have drafts that are available. And I actually started a draft beforehand just so that I could give you guys an idea of different functions that you have available to you so that you didn't have to wait for me to fill it all in. But if you wanted to create a new one, you would just go right up here to this blue button and you hit create new post. It's going to take you right into the function and you're going to see all of these steps right here. We're going to use the one that I already created though, just so that you guys can see some of the things that I have already done. If you go into the drafts function, you'll see this one that's called Untitled. The steps for actually putting the blog in are going to be the same whether you're using a draft or you're posting a new one. So this is the draft that I started. Up here where the bold text says Untitled, that's actually going to be the title of your blog. And so today I went ahead and I'm of course going to be using Disney, and I used a Star Wars Galaxy Edge question that was asked on a board that I was on. So if we just use that as our title, you can either type it in yourself or you can paste it in, whichever works for you. So we don't need Star Wars written twice. The question that was asked was, my family and I are so excited, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to answer the question down here. Now you can do one of two things. You're now in the body of the blog. So this is where the actual content of your blog is going to be. This big bold text up here is going to be your subject line. And you'll notice that when you check in this box, this little number appears right here. That's another way to know that you are in the subject line because you've only got so many characters in the subject line. So you want to make sure that you're clicking into the body of the box, and you'll notice that you'll get little plus signs, things like that. As I said, I put a question in. The reason I did that is just so that I could demonstrate for you guys how you can not only type in your own text saying Star Wars rocks. Like that. So you can just type in your own text. If you wanted to mess with the text, we'll get into that here in just a second. The other thing that probably a lot of you are going to do is you're probably going to build what you want to write in a Word document, and so you're going to want to copy and paste into the document, which is absolutely an option. So you can open up a Word doc that you've already written in, and as you can see, I've already written my answer to this question. So I'm just going to highlight that. I'm going to right-click it to copy. I'm going to close my document and I'm going to go in here and I'm going to click back in my text box. I'm going to right click again and I'm going to hit paste. And voila, there's all the stuff that I took out of my Word document. Sometimes when you're copying from a Word document, some of your spacing can get a little messed up, meaning like if you have paragraph breaks, they won't always put the paragraph breaks in there. So you might have to go in and put them in yourself. In this particular scenario, I didn't have any paragraph breaks, so we're not seeing any break in my content. So I just pasted that in there. Now let's say that you want the format to be quoted for some reason. So I actually want to quote this question. I want it to be something that somebody else said. Well, what I did is I just highlighted the text, and then you get this box up here where you can bold it, you can italicize it, you can underline it, you can change the text font, or sorry, not font, the text color if you'd like. You can pick one of their pre-selected, or you can hit add and you can go in here. You can type in the hex code if you know that. If you don't, you can just pick on any one of these colors. You can move your little bar down here to get to different colors. Let's say I want to do purple, and I'm going to click right in there, and then we're just going to hit the update button, and now my text is in purple. If I want the text to be quoted as I was originally saying, then you can go right here and you can hit this quote button. It will now put it in what they call a quote box. It will be indented and it will have quotations around it once it's posted. You won't see it here, but this red line indicates that it will be in a quote box. If you want to change the font size, the options are slightly limited on this particular format. And what I mean by that is that you can push this TT button right here, and that will format the text, and you'll get a T1, or you can get a T2, or you can just get regular TT. So those are really the only options you have in size, because what they're trying to do is encourage you to keep the format of your blog the same from blog to blog and not give you too many options, which makes it a lot easier for you because you don't really have to think a whole lot about it. You also have some other features in here where you can change whether the text is center aligned, left aligned, right aligned, or if you want it to be all squared off. You see how I have these lines that kind of drag off? I could highlight this one if I wanted to, and I could hit that I wanted it to be equally aligned, which is this bottom one right here. And what it will do is it will spread out my words so that it makes this nice clean line over here on the side. So you do have some different edit options in here. In addition, some of the other options that are up here, you can add bullet points if you wanted to. So if I wanted to make all of this a bullet point, I could just highlight it and hit a bullet point right there, and it makes it a bullet point for me. You also have the number option as well, where you can do 1, 2, or 3. If you needed to add a link, let's say you wanted this to go to a website, you would just highlight that, and you'd hit this little thing that looks like a chain, or a chain link, if you will. And if you hit that, then it's going to ask you, where do you want this to go? Do you want to open the link in a new tab? Do you want to add a follow tag? Typically, the only thing you're going to want to mess with here, though, is going to be directing it to a certain website. So you can either type the website in yourself. Let's just do Discover Hope, because I know that one off the top of my head. And then you just hit update. And you'll see now that it's highlighted and underlined to indicate that it is a hyperlink. It's not going to show as a hyperlink while you're in the edit fields. Once you go to preview it, you'll be able to check those links if you need to do that. Some of the other really cool functions too that you'll want to be aware of when you're in here building a blog is that you'll want to make sure that if you have pictures, which I highly recommend, it's really, really a good idea to always be adding pictures whenever you're adding a blog. It could just be one title picture to grab their attention. It could be a multitude of pictures. It's ultimately up to you. Pictures are really good though, because if the link ever gets shared amongst your friends, a picture will pop up instead of it just being words. And a picture is more likely to be clicked on than just a Word document, typically on your social media platforms. So the way to add a picture or a video, let's say there's a video that you want to write a blog on about a controversial video that's out there, whatever the case may be. You have these functions down here. You have add an image, that would just be one singular image. You have add a gallery, which that would be adding a multitude of pictures. You could add 5 or 6 pictures. This one's adding a video. Now, when you add a video, what it's going to want is a link. And the link is going to be to either a YouTube video, a VMO video, or a Facebook video. So like I said, again, this would be as if you were going to be talking about a video that you saw on another platform that you're wanting to share and now talk about. If you want to upload your own video, you do have that option by clicking this button here. I don't have a video to share at this point to actually show you how that works, but it's pretty simple. If you just hit the upload video, it's going to take you to a function where you can upload media, and you're going to click this button over here. You'd upload it right into your file, and it will automatically, once it's uploaded, highlight, and you can then share it on your video. But again, I don't have a video up here to share, so I'm just going to X out of this for right now. We are going to do pictures. I'm going to show you how to do different pictures because I think that's really important to know when you're doing a blog. The other way that you can get to these functions is by hitting this plus sign right here as well. You can just hit that and you'll get these exact same functions right here where you're at. So if you've got a really long body text and this bar down here is too far down at the bottom of your page, you can always just hit this plus sign wherever you're at in the document and get those same commands as well. So we're going to add a gallery just to give you an idea of what that works like, what that looks like. So I've already uploaded a couple photos, but I'm also going to show you how to add your own photos as well. I created this document called, or this folder here called Disneyland, and so I know my functions are going to be, or my pictures are going to be in there. You'll notice that I've organized a lot of the photos for you guys. So we have a Be Encouraged folder, we have a Discover Hope folder, we have an Outreach folder, and this one was just one of things that I was playing with. So all of these folders will be available to you, or at least they'll be available to you according to the website that you're logged into. So if you're on Discover Hope's website, you should be able to have access to all of the Discover Hope folders. Same would be true with Bob Faby. However, I think most of you have admin access, so you should be able to access all of these folders if you should need to. So anyway, for today, we're just going to use this Disneyland folder. And you just double click on it. It's going to open it up. And I want to create a collage. So I'm going to click this first picture here, and then I'm going to hit the Shift key on my keyboard, and that will allow me to highlight multiple photos because I then use my mouse to click on the other folders while holding down Shift at the same time. So now I have all 6 of these photos highlighted, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here to the bottom right, and I'm going to hit Add to Page. Once I hit that button, it's going to put it in a collage for me. We now have 6 folders, or 6 pictures laid out really nicely in a collage. Maybe you don't like all this white space in here. Maybe you don't like the order that the pictures are in. Maybe you want this one up here. You'll notice that this box right here shows up. This gives you all the options that you need. If you want to do it really simply, just change the way that the format looks. You can hit this drop down button right here that allows you to pick the different ways that it's laid out. You can do it in a grid, you can do it in masonry, collage, so on and so forth. You have a lot of different options available to you. You can also change the size of how big it takes up on your website. You can have it be small, you can have it fit true to the page, which is ultimately my recommendation, or you can also do a full width, which is going to spread it out. But you'll notice that the pictures don't fit so well when you go to a full width when you're doing a collage type thing. Again, it depends on the type of function that you're using. If you're using masonry, then the full width might look a little better. But for the time being, we're going to do grid, and we are going to do, this would be the small version. We're going to mix it over to best fit. There we go, best fit. And then if you wanted to indent it, or align, excuse me, not indent it, but align it to the left or align it to the right. So let's say you didn't want it in the center of the page. But again, this is not a highly recommended thing. Typically, you want to keep the pictures right there in the middle of your page. The other function that I was going to recommend here is that this right here, this is the Organize Media button. This will give you the option to reorder the pictures, maybe clear out some of this white space if you don't want it. So if you click on that button, you'll get a panel over here on the right-hand side of the screen. And now you can see all the pictures that are in your box over here. And as I said, if you want to move around the pictures, you have the capability of grabbing a hold of the picture and moving it into the order that you want it to be in so that you can have them exactly laid out the way you want. You also have the layout button right here. If you click on the layout button, you have all these options again. You can then also say how many images you want in a row. Maybe you only want 2 pictures in a row. That will allow the pictures to be bigger. Maybe you want to put 6, or excuse me, maybe you want to put all 6 of them. There we go. I guess it will only allow 5 in a row with the way that I have the settings right now. But if I were to decrease the spacing between the pictures, then I probably would be able to do more over here. No, I guess it's only going to allow me to do 5. I apologize. I haven't done a layout on an actual blog yet. But again, you can change the spacing and you'll see how this white space has decreased. So let's take it back down to 2 pictures. 2 pictures. Come on, computer. There we go. So we've got it 2 pictures. Remember how we had that big, thick white space in the middle? By decreasing the white space over here, you're eliminating that spacing is eliminating that white space in between the pictures. So it's just a matter of what looks clean to you. You also have the ability to thumbnail resize these, crop them, fit them. I don't recommend messing a whole lot with this because Wix is pretty intuitive and they're going to fit the pictures the way that they fit best. So I wouldn't recommend playing with that too much unless you absolutely want to be creative. But again, you have all of these things in here to play with to make the pictures look exactly the way you want them to do or the way you want them to look. So when you're done, you just hit this done button down here on the right, or you can click outside of the screen. Either function will work and it will take you back to your blog post. So now I have these great 6 pictures here, but I'm like, you know what? I want one single picture up here at the top in between my question and my answer. And this is what I was talking about earlier. We're up here on the top portion of our page and we can't see that bar down at the bottom, but we want to add pictures. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit that little plus sign right there. And once I hit that plus sign, it's going to give me those commands that were at the bottom of the page. Let's say I want to add a single picture. So I'm just going to hit this image right here. Instead of the gallery, I'm going to hit just the camera because I just want one single image at this time. So I've already added the 6 pictures that were in my folder. So now I need more pictures. So now I'm going to need to upload some pictures to be able to make that work. And once I get the spinning wheel of death to go away, we will add some more media. I want to make sure that I add them to this folder because that's the folder that I'm going to be keeping all of my stuff in. So if I were to upload media right here, it's just going to become a blank image right here and it's not going to be organized in a folder. So make sure that you're always checking on the folder that you want to be working in. So if you're working from Discover Hope, you'll want to make sure you go into the Discover Hope folder. In this scenario, we're using Disneyland though, so I'm going to open that one up. Spin, spin, spin. I always hate when they go so slow. Once this spinning wheel is done, what we're going to do is we're going to hit this button right up here and we're going to do upload media. Upload media will give you 2 options. You can either drag and drop your folders right into the system or you can search your files. Whichever system works for you works for us. So you can either hit upload from computer, which what will happen is it will now give you a folder of all the different places that you can look. And I had some on my desktop that I was planning on using. So if I go to my desktop, I can click this image right here and I can say open and it's going to upload it into my folder. If you want to use the drag and drop function, we can do that as well. You can hit this upload media again, then go to wherever your picture is at the time and you can drag it right into here and you'll see your green plus sign and you're just going to drop it right into that folder. And you'll notice down here, this window will pop up whenever there's media loading. So right now it's still working on loading that one picture that I just asked it to. The other one has already come in. You just can't see it clearly right now because my system is working extremely slow for some reason today. But there's the ship picture that I had put in. So we're going to go ahead and add that one to our page. You can go ahead and start adding these photos before you've actually finished uploading the additional ones that you've added. So this one's in my library and I can go ahead and add that one. So I've highlighted it. You'll see the blue box around it. And I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say add to page. So we'll just hit that add to page button and voila, there is the picture. Again, you have a lot of the same functions that you had before. You can resize it to its original size. You can make it small. You can have it best fit, which is the best recommendation because again, Wix is very intuitive and it's going to make it look right on the blog. So I normally use the best fit, but you can always change it if you think you need to. You can fix the aligning, whether it's to the left, whether it's to the right. Maybe you want to hyperlink the picture and you want it to go to an article that you have read. Then you could hyperlink the photo by clicking this link right here and typing in the web address that you want. Then you've got your different settings and you can replace the image or you can delete the image if you've decided that's not the right image. Okay, so we've added our pictures. You can always add captions to the bottom right here. This function's kind of nice because it allows you to write maybe a specific comment about this photo so that they know that this is Bobby on the left and Susie in the middle, or whatever the case may be. You can write in descriptive terms in here, or if you want to give photo credit to the person that you took the picture from, you could put the photo credit right here. That's a really great thing to do as well. So now we've got our pictures uploaded, we've highlighted the question, we've put in a single picture, and now we're going into our explanation of our blog or the question or the answers. And we've also got our collage of 6 photos here as well. Now we're pretty much done. There's not much more we want to do. The one thing you need to always make sure that you're doing whenever adding a blog is you want to go to this post settings function, because this will give you some additional settings that you can set for your blog so that it can be easily found, or maybe you want to change the author on your blog. Discover Hope, I'm kind of speaking to you on this one because I know you guys sometimes switch between Luann or Richard writing the post. So what you can do is you can hit that post settings and it will take you into this page over here. You have a general setting where you can put the publish date. Maybe you want to backdate this. Maybe you actually want it to show as September 1st. Well, you can edit the date by clicking on here, and you just go back here and you say, I actually wanted this to publish on the 1st. So you can change the date there. This would be where you change the author. Again, I'm working in a dummy account right now, so I don't have my authors set up. And most of you don't have authors set up on your Wix accounts. This is pretty much primarily applying to Discover Hope. But for Discover Hope, you guys could hit this down arrow right here, and that would give you the option of selecting Richard or Luann. It's not letting me do it right now because, again, I don't have other people set up on this one. If you wanted to write some kind of special excerpt that shows when people are searching for this post, you could write that right here if you wanted. Like if you wanted the lead-in statement to be Star Wars rocks or Star Wars rules or whatever, you could type that right into here. And that would be the lead-in text that people would see when they see the preview for this blog. You can decide whether or not you want the cover image to show, or you can change the cover image. Let's say you want the cover image to be something that's not in the post. I'm not real sure why you'd want to do that, but if you did, you could change the cover image here by uploading. You can make this a featured post on your blog. Let's say this is the one that you want to make sure goes to the top of your page. You backdated it to September 1st, so you've had other blogs go out, but this is the one you want to make sure people see first. You just click this button right here and it makes it a featured post. You also have the option of selecting categories. This is really helpful if you're going to start writing a lot of blogs and you want to have some on faith and you want to have some on travel and you want to have some on prayer. You could create all of these categories in here and then you could select what this blog falls under. You can do that by creating new categories. And again, many of you probably don't have categories already set up in your Wix. Discover Hope probably does have quite a few of these already set up. So you can either select ones that already exist or you can create a new one. And all you have to do is click that button and then you can just say, I want this to be a travel blog. And you just hit just tab once you type in, and so you get the little check mark saying that it's done. And travel's already going to be checked because you said you wanted that one to, because you added that one at this time. And you can always go back and check the categories. So we're going to hit save. There it goes. It's just taking a second to load. So you'll see that travel becomes this grayed out box. Let's say that it also has something to do with prayer. And this also falls under the category of hope. You can select up to 10 of these. And so you can create a multitude of different labels. And then you can select up to 10 different labels for each one of your blogs. So this is really great stuff if you want to start really getting organized with the different blogs that you have on your website. You also have an SEO option over here on the side. SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. For the most part, I don't recommend messing with this too much because, again, Wix is a very intuitive website that will kind of work in a lot of this stuff for you. But let's just say, for sake of argument, like here's a good example. Galaxy Edge, because I put a comma in the title, URLs don't recognize commas. It's just lowercase letters in a succession of order. And if there's a space between them, it's going to put these hyphens. So let's say you don't want those dashes in between your words. You could go in here and you could take out all of those dashes so that it's one consistent word, Star Wars Galaxy Edge. So you could change your URL here if you wanted to. And the URL is the web address or the domain where the where the blog is going to live. So that's what you're going to share on social sites. It's what you're going to share in an email, things like that. So sometimes you want this to be an easily typable name so that people can actually go out and type Discover Hope / and then whatever the name of the blog is. So again, you can play with that a little bit. It will only give you so much function though. Like this feed part will always show on the front because that's part of your blog feed. So that's always going to show there. But if you wanted to change the title, let's say the title on here is Star Wars Galaxy Edge, but you want to take off the Galaxy's Edge part. And so when people are actually searching it on search engines, whenever they type in the word Star Wars, this is what's going to appear. Again, I don't see the need in needing to change your title because if you pick that title, then it's a pretty grabbing title, I assume. You can also write your own answer. So like what we'll do here for the post description, will automatically take the first so many words. You can count them if you want, but it's literally going to start from right here. We're going to keep editing, sorry. It's literally going to start from right here, and it's going to take so many words from that point forward. So let's say you want to have a much more grabbing description and you wanted to say, these are all the reasons why you absolutely have to visit Galaxy Edge. Then you can just highlight this and change that to whatever you want as well. And what you'll see is as you make changes to this is what they'll see in a Google search. And so like my sentence runs off here. So maybe I want to lose that A because what's the point of that? So we could just stop right there. Maybe you don't want the question to be the first thing that leads out. There's a lot of different scenarios here that you might want to take into consideration. But again, for the most part, I really don't think that you need to mess with this much. But if you want to start playing with some test ones just to kind of see how it works, then it's always good to go in there and see what these different functions are. So we're going to go ahead down here to the bottom right, and we're going to hit save, and we're going to go back into our blog. There's only a few more things that I want to show you when it comes to adding a blog. Let's say that you have this, the way that I broke this one out was I have a question, I have a picture, and I have an answer. Let's say that I want to make it really clear that this is the question. So I've already made the text a different color, and now I'm going to bold it. But let's say I still just feel like there isn't enough separation between those two. Well, again, you can hit this add button here. And we've already gone over the single image, we've gone over the gallery, we've gone over the video. You've got 2 more left. This one here is a line divider. You can click that one in there and it puts a line to separate the blog for you. And you can determine what kind. You can have dash, you can have double lines. You can determine if you want it to be long, full width, if you want it to be medium, if you want it to be small. So let's just say we want it to be medium length, but let's say I don't want it in the center, I want it left justified. Well, here you can mess with those as well. It can be right justified, it can be centered, or it can be left justified. So now you've got a line that divides, so you're done with that, so you can just click out anywhere into your blog. And so now you got a line that separates your question from your answer. You've got a picture that separates it as well. Let's see, I want a little space in between that. So we're going to go in here and we're going to hit that. You see where my cursor's blinking right there? We're going to hit enter, give myself a little more space. Okay. So the only other function that you haven't used yet is HTML code. I am not going to open that one up for you because most of you are not going to be writing an HTML code. There is an option for that. So if you do want to write an HTML code, this is where that function is at. What HTML coding will do on Wix though, because again, this is a drag and drop designed website or blog function, it's going to put a big box in the middle of your page. And so you're going to have to really think through using that if you're going to want to use that. I'm not even going to open it up because I just don't think it's a function that you guys need to be working with. So outside of that, we've used all the functions that are available to you. You're all set and ready to go. You're like, all right, I'm ready to post this blog. So you're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. I'm going to scoot my screen over just a tad so I can see. And you've got a couple different options here. You've got a cancel option. Let's say I don't like anything I did. I want to start all over. You can do that. You can hit the publish option, or you can hit these 3 little dots. The 3 little dots are going to give you the option to preview the post. You can do the post settings. The post settings is what we already did though. That's where that white box showed up here when we messed with the title and the SEO and the pictures and things like that. Same with choose categories. And then you have save as a draft. I'm just not ready to commit to this yet. I need to get some more pictures. I need to find the links that I want to add. Then you would just save it as a draft. Let's say you're all set and ready to go and you're like, let's roll this thing. Then you can just go ahead and hit this publish button right here. And it's going to go out on your website and you can go view it that way as well. As long as this box is still whited out, it's still trying to save, and probably because of the number of pictures I put on, it's going to take a few more minutes. That and because my website or internet's running a little slow. And it's going to say, great, post published, check it out. And so that link there, you could have checked it out that way. The other thing you can do here is you'll go, so we were in drafts before. If you want to go and see if it actually is in your list of published, just hit this publish button right here, and it's going to show you all of the blogs that have been posted on your website. And so you'll see that the Star Wars Galaxy Edge is sitting right there. It's showing the author. It's showing how long ago you posted it. Now, if you backdated it, it's still going to say a few seconds ago because you actually published it a few seconds ago. And if you did want to go and see the post, like I said, you could have hit it when it gave you that green link up there, or you can just log onto your website and go check it out. So that's pretty much it for how to add a blog to your post. I will be doing another video again very soon about how to share said post. So let's say you've posted your blog on your website, you feel great about it, but now you want to know how to share it on your Facebook or your Instagram. I'm going to do a separate video on that. I wanted to do these in small digestible sections. So this was how to add a blog to your Wix website. One of the things I wanted to share with you before I close off is, let's say you don't have pictures in mind and you don't even know where to go and find a picture. I wanted to share this one document with you. There are several different places where you can get free images. One of my favorites is called Unsplash, this first one right here. You've got freeimages.com, you've got Pixababy, you've got Pexels, you've got iStock Photos. These are all places where you can go and download high resolution photos that will look really quality and really good. And most of them are free, not all of them, but some of them are free. Unsplash is all free, and I think Free Images is all free as well. These links are all on the how-to Word document that's available on G Suite. Or if you can't find the document or you don't want the full document and you just want these links, let me or Caleb know and we can get them to you quickly. But this is a really great way to find stock photos, if you will, and you have a lot of search functions within these websites. So either jot them down or, like I said, let me or Caleb know and we'll get that information to you. But this is a great way to find let's see, I don't want to do that. Is a great way to find like these kind of stock photos. Pretty much every one of these stock photos that you're seeing here are ones that I have pulled off of Unsplash. Like I said, Unsplash is one of my absolute favorite, and so that's where I get all of these very generic stock photos. Even these Christmas ones were all from Unsplash. So definitely start getting into the habit of trying to find really good quality pictures so they look clean, they look sharp, and they look inviting. That's what's going to get people to come to your website and read more about your blogs. So thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to doing another one of these training videos for you. As usual, I probably talked a mile a minute, so you may have to replay this, but I'm so glad that you joined me, and I will be doing one again soon. So thanks so much and have a great day. Bye-bye.